So I left my window open all day when I was in class today, and now it's really cold in here, and I feel really stupid for leaving my window open. So lesson learned, kids, shut your window before you go to class. Hey guys, it's Maddie. It's Tuesday, and as the title says, today I'm going to be talking about my experience this weekend going through sorority recruitment, informally known as Rush. I feel like this is going to be filled with like a lot of terms that, if you're unfamiliar with Greek life, they're probably going to be very foreign terms. I'm going to try my best to explain everything the best I can, but if you're still confused, you can just leave questions in the comments section and I'll try my best to answer them. So this weekend I went through Rush. I am, not your typical girl going through Rush. Most people rush when they are freshmen, but I'm a transfer student, so I'm a junior, so I was a lot older than most of the girls there. I also, when I was in high school, was not really the stereotypical girl that you think of who rushes sororities and like does the Greek life thing. A lot of schools, I'm not going to say every school because I know there are some universities out there that don't have any sororities, but a lot of schools have sororities from an organization known as the National Panhellenic Council, which is 26 sororities who have chapters all over the country and in Canada, and who have like a network of sisters, and it's all like a unified thing. My school has 6 chapters from the Panhellenic Council. First day of Rush, we got this t-shirt. All the PNMs, which stands for potential new members, got this shirt. What happened on that day was that we met with girls from each sorority and we basically just had small talk with them. We told them like our major and what year in school we were, where we were from, just some facts about us, and then they told us a little bit about their chapter and saw all 6 sororities, and at the end of the day you would go and rank the sororities. You would pick your top 4 in no particular order, and then you would rank the next 2. Then you would submit that to your rokai, which is a girl who is in a sorority who has chosen to disaffiliate from her chapter. She doesn't wear letters, she doesn't reveal what chapter she's in. She's kind of a recruitment counselor, and her entire purpose is to help girls find what chapter they're meant to be in. And they go by a lot of different names at different schools. My school calls them Rokais. I know some schools call them Rho Gammas, some call them like Sigma Rokais. There's like a lot of different names for them. Their affiliation with a sorority is supposed to be top secret. They're not supposed to tell any PNMs what sorority they're in, but I did happen to find out which sororities 2 of my Rokais were in, and I wasn't allowed to tell anyone, and I left feeling so confident because I felt like I had connected with 4 chapters, and I felt a very strong connection with 2 of them. And then the other 2 chapters, at one of them I felt a weak connection, and at the last one I didn't feel like I connected with the girls I was talking to at all, so of course I ranked that one last. It was pretty obvious what my choices were at the end of day 1, but then the next day your Rokais text you telling you what time you need to return to go through recruitment. So I get a text from my Rokai telling me what time to be back, and automatically I knew something did not go as planned because she told me to come back very late in the day. I went back and they gave me a schedule. At this point in recruitment, all the events are invite only. After meeting you, sororities decide which girls they want to see again the next day and which girls they don't want to see again. Not to be mean. I showed up at recruitment for day 2 and only one sorority had invited me back for day 2. That was my number 6 house. I just felt like a shock going through me because I felt like there is no way that this is the one house that wants to see me, and I was like wondering what went wrong because only one house did want to see me. I talked to my Rokai about it and I actually started crying. I was so scared that I was not going to be able to join a sorority. This sorority was going to decide that they didn't want me to be in their sisterhood and they were going to release me from recruitment, and it was just very dramatic, and she was hugging me and telling me that everything was going to be okay and telling me just to give this chapter a chance. I went to their second day of recruitment, which is known as Philanthropy Day. All sororities have a charity or an organization that they support and raise money for, known as their philanthropy. I went to this chapter's Philanthropy Day and learned a bit about their philanthropy and spoke to different girls than the girls I'd spoken to the day before, and talking to those new girls definitely made me feel like I was at home. I just felt like I belonged, and I felt so at ease talking to them, and I loved talking to them, and I definitely got the sense of unity and sisterhood from this chapter. At the end of day 2, you go back and you rank your sororities again, but obviously for me, I only had one to rank. I ranked that one as my number 1 because it was my only choice, and then I went home and waited in agony to see if I was going to be invited back for day 3. Finally, I got a text from my Rokai telling me to come back for day 3, which is known as preference night, which is probably one of the most official, serious days of recruitment, because preference night, again, invite only, and at that point, most sororities have this kind of agreement that you don't invite girls to preference night unless you can actually see them joining. So I showed up at preference night. I was wearing a formal dress. I actually ended up talking to one of the girls I had talked to the day before that I connected with, and it was basically just like a last minute telling me about the sorority and trying to get a sense to see whether or not we could potentially be sisters. We watched a slideshow on the sorority's philanthropy, and then we went inside and there was a ceremony. A lot of girls cried and got emotional, and it was just a really powerful experience for me. I definitely got the sense of sisterhood from being with them. As I was looking around at these girls crying and hugging each other, I definitely could see myself joining them one day, and I felt like these girls definitely could be my sisters. Then I went back and went to my Rokai. This part of recruitment gets a little tricky. A lot of girls see 2 chapters on preference night. That's like the maximum number of sororities you can see on preference night, but of course I only got invited to 1. If you do see 2 houses on preference night, when you go back to your Rokais, you're supposed to rank your order of preference. You say that you're going to accept a bid, which is an offer to become a member from either sorority, but number 1 is which one you'd prefer, but you'd still be okay with number 2. So most girls did have 2 chapters to rank, but I of course only had 1, so I put that house my number 1, and I turned in a paper saying that I wanted to accept a bid from them, and then I had to sign a form basically saying I would accept a bid from any of the houses I had listed, and that if I was not offered a bid, I was eligible for what's known as continuous open bidding, and that if I was offered a bid that I did not accept, I could not rush again for another calendar year, and just things like that. Signed my name, turned it in, and ranked my house as number 1 because it was the only one left. And then I waited and waited and waited, and finally my Rokai texted me telling me what time to be there for bid day, which meant that I had received an offer from this house to join their sisterhood. So I went to bid day, and bid day is so exciting. When I got there, they had us sit on our bid cards so that we wouldn't look at them early, because it's like this big surprise and there's this huge build up to bid day. We were just waiting there for about an hour or an hour and a half, and then finally all the Rokais, they are wearing sweatshirts that they had zipped up all the way. They went to the front of the room and they were doing all the cheers for all the sororities, and then when it got to their house's cheer, they would unzip their sweatshirts and they'd be wearing their sorority's t-shirt underneath. That was how they revealed which houses they were in, and how I knew I was correct in figuring out which houses my Rokais were in. And then after that, they excused us in groups to go out to the quad, where we would all open our bids simultaneously. That was just a mess, with girls screaming and crying and jumping up and down, and all the girls ran to their houses once they had opened their bids, and it was really emotional and exciting. And so, without further ado, today I accepted my bid from my new sisterhood, Delta Zeta, and I'm so excited to join them. When I met my sisters, they gave me this t-shirt, they gave me a cup, they were hugging me, and they were so excited to see me. I definitely felt like I belonged with them, even though on day 1 I was not convinced. So even though I had a less than stellar recruitment story, it ended with such a happy ending. Happy now that I have found my sisters, and that I finally get to wear my Greek letters when my big sister gives them to me. And it's just been such a long, emotional weekend, but it has been exciting, and I'm very happy to now be a Delta Zeta. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel. I make videos twice a week here. I will have links and other good stuff under my bed, and I will see you all on Friday if I don't die of exhaustion from all the tests I have to study for today. Peace out, Girl Scout. you.